sure.
Yeah, let's just roll it right into it if you're cool
Yeah, I'm
with that.
down. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Dope. So Israel Ramos, a photographer based out of Los Angeles, California. How are you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm
Good to be
doing
here.
I'm doing solid. I appreciate you coming on. Are you born and raised in LA?
No, I'm born and raised in San Francisco. I've been here for
Mm,
about almost, I think, 3.5 years now.
Bay
Yep,
Area
yep,
boy,
yeah,
huh?
yeah, yep. What about
Dope.
yourself?
I'm born and raised in LA. I've
Oh,
lived in
sick,
I
sick.
lived in SF though a couple years ago for about a year.
Oh, really?
Um,
Whereabouts?
I lived in Oakland,
Oh,
in
bet.
like
Yeah,
North
yeah, yeah.
Oakland.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that was a fun experience. Oakland has so much culture, and the whole Bay Area is just like a whole vibe, as I'm sure you're aware of, right?
Definitely. 100%, man.
Yeah, and something I could actually tell. It makes sense that you're like from Cali because I feel like a lot of your photos have that sort of like West Coast feel to them.
Definitely. Yep.
Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, growing up where I grew up in a predominantly Mexican neighborhood, and my best friend would always be taking photos of like the cholos, the lowriders, and just the street culture, and that was a huge influence to me. So
Yeah,
I definitely want to keep that going in my photography, more of like a street edgy kind of a vibe.
yeah, that's dope. I know, and I know it's like a little weird to say to like some people, but uh, I'm actually curious what you think about this too. I think that there's a lot of different styles of photography, and I feel like whether it's photography, cinema, any visual arts, I feel like um, it coincides with the area that you were kind of brought up in, right? And it's kind of
100%.
like music and hip hop and West Coast, East Coast, the
Yep.
South,
Yeah.
and that does have a huge influence on your photography and your art, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, where I grew up has a huge influence on like everything, just me as a person, really. And who I am as a person reflects what I shoot and who I shoot. Well, not who I shoot, but like how I shoot and how I approach like my style, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Got you. When was the first time you picked up a camera?
For photography, it was in high school, but I first started doing I first got into actually video when I was a little kid. My parents
Mm.
got me my first camera when I was I believe I was turned 11 years old. I asked for a camera and they actually got it for me. And me and my best friend would just while around, like just running around the streets, just like shooting skits and like harassing people. And and then he got a DSLR, and then I saw that like he was getting like that depth of field in his shots, and I was like, wait, what? How come my camcorder can't do that? Like, I was
Yeah.
obsessed with like bokeh, and like it was my
Okay.
first time seeing it.
Yeah.
So then he was like, nah, man, you need to get a DSLR. So I sold my little camera, my little camcorder, my little handheld, and I bought myself a Rebel T2i. And I just taught myself how to do everything by myself, just manual. Started off manual straight away.
Did you like do research? Did you look like YouTube videos and shit, or did you just
No,
kind
no
of
YouTube videos at all. Literally, I wasn't even on YouTube back then. It was like I was just shooting with him. He taught me the basics I needed to know, and then from there I met my friend. His name's Woostar. He taught me the basics of editing. So, and then
Okay.
I got into college, and then I started learning more and more.
More and more.
Yeah.
Did you go to college for photography or?
I went to college. I went to SF State for cinema.
Okay, for
Yeah,
cinema.
yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense. For sure, man. Well, I can tell that like you definitely fucking know what you're doing. First off, when did you decide that like this is what you wanted to do for a living?
Early on when I was in high school. Yeah. And then I just knew that I was obsessed with it. I mean, I've been obsessed with just doing anything with the camera since I was a kid. And then it it followed me throughout high school. And then when it came a decision to choose a major, I mean, when I was in college, that was the first thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to do that in sociology, but you could only choose one. You can't. I wanted to do sociology as like a minor and cinema as a major, but they would only let you do cinema as a major and no other minors.
Oh,
So I did that, and then I started noticing that there was like a lot of really cool people around my neighborhood, like that were doing rap or producing or artists or tattooing. And me and my friends just got together and we're like, man, fuck it, let's just start a collective and like just do YouTube videos and just do like little short form documentaries about them and their art to highlight and showcase them. And we got pretty good at it, and we got a good response from the community. I mean, we sold out of like our merch, and we were just in
Oh yeah.
college doing this, and it was really, really cool. And that's when I knew like, could be a career, and I wanted to just do it.
What was the collective called?
It's called Hungry Ones. It's spelled HUNGRIE, and then ones. You can still look it up on YouTube. We still got like our old videos and shit.
You still got it in the archives?
Yeah. It's up there.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out, man. I think that's really important because you probably learned so much during the journey of like having that collective and all the shit that it taught you, right?
Yeah, you learn how to work with other people, and we weren't doing it for money, but that was the end goal, was to create a business. But at the end of the day, like we learned like how to stick to different roles and how to be a collective and how to provide our own ideas and our own input. And, it was great.
Yeah. And I think it's really important because I'm learning a lot of that right now myself. And the shit that you learn while doing this, even if it doesn't end up coming to what you envisioned it to be, like the shit that you learn through the process is invaluable.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Do you think, are there some skills that you kind of took with you that you have with you today
from being in that collective?
Yeah,
I mean, time management was one, and how to stick to schedule was another, because there was no one telling us what to do. We were doing it for ourselves. And sometimes we would be like, oh, let's like just do a video once a month. And we were doing that, but then things started to slow down a little bit. And it's up to you to just keep that going. And that's something that I still, because when you have no one there to tell you like, yo, this is due, when you kind of make the rules yourself, it's good to just stick to that. And that's what I learned from there. And then how to work with other people. If you have different ideas that differ from someone else, and you just have to be open to conversation and learning how to communicate.
I feel that. Switching gears into your own like personal career, did you have like a big like oh wow moment where it kind of like was like a breakthrough moment for yourself?
Just like what do you like in what terms?
Like in terms of like the first big like gig that you got, or the first big
yeah, I mean shit. Well, yeah, I think my first oh wow moment was I was shooting just like I said, like local friends, like in my neighborhood. And, I just felt like, okay, like I knew that LA was like something that I wanted to do, but it didn't feel like it was something that I could grasp. And I applied to work for the Hundreds.
Oh shit.
They wanted a videographer, and I applied, and they put me through the second round, which was an in-person interview. Oh, and shit. I lied, and I told them that I lived in LA. So I just drove out here.
So you were still living at the Bay at this time?
Yeah, no, I didn't even drive. Yeah, I was living in the Bay. I didn't even drive. I took a fucking bus, and I came here with like a bag with all my shit. And I remember I showed up to the fucking office.
Oh, damn.
And the dude opened the door, and he was like,
Bobby Hundreds or no?
No, not Bobby. I met him that day, but it was my friend Johnny. He opened the door, and he was like, oh shit, like, why do you have a bag? And I was like, oh, this is all my stuff. I'm staying the night here. I just came for this interview. And so, yeah, and then I got the job, and I moved everything over here.
Hell yeah! So that was the moment when you moved to LA.
Yeah, so that to me was like the first oh wow moment. Like, okay, like I'm really doing this. Like I'm getting paid for this. Like,
Yeah, for your life. That's crazy, man. I feel like a lot of people would have been scared to take that first step. Like you had to leave a lot of shit in SF, but were you ready to make that move?
Oh yeah, 100%, bro. Like I was born and raised in SF. I love SF. I love everything about the Bay Area, but there's just not too many opportunities when it comes to video and and photo, and LA that's it.
Yeah, it's the central spot out here for sure. And I feel like SF is more like business, like tech out there,
Yeah,
that's where
like
people make.
Yeah. It's either art or tech over there, or just like small business. Yeah.
Did you already have people out here that you knew, or was it just like a starting fresh type of view?
No, I definitely I had other homies that lived out here. My friend Mr. Carmack, he's a really well-known producer.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I actually was living with him on his I slept on his floor for about 4 or 5 months.
Oh, until you found like a spot?
Yeah.
Because you just like came out here with a bag. I forgot about that.
Exactly, yeah. And that's like one of my best friends. We went to high school together.
Oh, he's from the Bay too, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just slept on his floor. So he helped me out a lot.
That's dope. I feel like any
Yeah.
successful person has a story of living on somebody's floor or couch, right?
You have to, bro. You got to sleep on the floor. Everyone should sleep on the floor at one point in their
If you're
life.
comfortable, move out, be homeless. Like,
Yeah.
it teaches a lot, right? Like, it
Hell
humbles the fuck out
yeah.
of you.
It does humble the fuck out of you, and it's good for your back.
It's good for your back.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Sleeping on the floor is actually good for your back.
Okay.
Or so I've heard. I don't know. Maybe
Got
you should.
some.
Actually, people should not take my advice.
I was,
Don't.
I was gonna say we got some good chiropractic advice coming from Israel.
I'm not a certified chiropractor.
All right, for sure, man. That's dope though. So you've also shot with some pretty amazing artists.
Yeah.
Toured with some probably. So do you have any experiences that you want to talk about, or just like some dope stories from those experiences?
I mean, yeah. I mean, just I pretty much I owe a lot of where I'm at to Anderson Paak, because he's the one who gave me that. He like pretty much took me from like if you were looking at a baseball diamond, he took me from like batting all the way to third base.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So like he really gave me that push, and he literally just gave me the opportunity to shoot for him when he was barely starting to like rise as an artist, and he allowed me to document everything with no walls, just full on, and you know, create his like online social media presence with him and everything that came with it, and tour with him. So super life changing.
How did you guys link?
Through Carmack, actually. I was shooting. So back when I was with my collective, The Hungry Ones, me and my friends followed Carmack for an entire summer, just filming and shooting photos of like him doing like different festivals all over. And we were making like a short form documentary on him, which is still out. And in that process, he brought out Anderson Paak on stage for like a surprise performance. And I was backstage, and I was already a pretty big fan of his. And I actually had a treatment that I wrote on my phone just because like I loved one of his songs. And I just had it on my phone. I didn't know that I was going to meet him that day.
Wait, what do you mean by a treatment?
Like I had a music video treatment.
Oh, music video treatment. Okay.
Like I heard this song and I was like, wow, this song's sick. And I just started like visuals just kept coming to me. So I just wrote it down on my phone, and I didn't think anything of it. And then when Carmack was like, yo, my friend Anderson is going to come perform, and I met him backstage, and I was like, yo, I don't mean to be weird, but I actually have a fucking video treatment. Would you like to read it? And he read it. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, how long have you had this? And I was like, a couple months. He's like, dude, I got to connect with you. So we connected, and we stayed friends for a couple of years.
Wow. That's a great example of like staying ready. You know what I mean? Like not getting ready, just having your shit on lock. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready to capitalize on it.
Yeah, and I was having a conversation with my roommate the other day about like when you have an idea, just write it down, because you never know where that'll take you. Like I never made that video. Like that never happened. That never panned out. And it took me 2 years after that to land this official gig with him. But because I had that idea ready to go and to show it, now my whole life has changed. So
damn, little shit like that's crazy.
Little
like
shit,
if,
man.
if you never did that, who knows where you'd be at right now, right?
Exactly. I'd probably be still making sandwiches at the deli.
Did you have a job at the deli?
Yeah.
Where'd you work at?
At this spot called Dagwood and Scoops in San Francisco in the Mission.
Damn,
super
shouts
fire.
out.
Fire. Yeah, super fire.
Man, that's one thing about SF. They got some good ass food. That's one thing I will say.
Dude, yeah, SF small businesses, small like restaurants. Oh man, they're the best.
Yeah, that spot El Guadalajara or El Farolitos.
El Farolito, yeah.
They're raising their prices up though, man. Last time I went there, that shit's up like $2 every year.
Yep, gentrification, man. They're trying to make their money too.
Yeah, I feel it. They got to get a bag.
Exactly.
Speaking of bags, like how has this quarantine kind of affected you as far as like your gigs and shit? Have you had a lot of shit get canceled?
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, everything kind of came to a halt. I'm working on something that was already I'm like reaching the end of being wrapped up. So as quarantine started, I'm still wrapping this project up. But anything in the future, I don't have anything. It's pretty much
Damn.
everything's been canceled. You know, I was hoping to do Coachella and maybe
Yeah.
do some like summer tours. Things like usually just pop up for me,
Yeah.
but now who knows? So
The shit. I
yeah,
think one of the shitty parts about that is just there's no like. Usually, if something like that happens, just like okay, like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you don't even know when shit's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm hopeful. Like I have no like I've hustled my way up to this point, so like I don't. I have confidence in like my ability to make shit happen for myself.
That's important.
This one is like probably one of the hardest situations just because everything else is frozen around you. So
Yeah,
it's
for all
like
freelancers and creators.
yeah, just for everybody, but I'm sure there's still a way. So
Yeah, well,
and
that's
I'm
good
not
that you got a positive outlook on it.
yeah, and I've noticed that there's like a lot more shoots going on, but just with smaller crews, like 5-person, 10-man crews. Like
Yeah,
people are still out there shooting videos and stuff. So
yeah.
there's some work.
I was gonna ask you how are you adjusting to it? Like, what are some things you're doing?
Um, I mean, I've been just doing these vlogs and just
Yeah,
staying
yeah.
home and just kind of keeping to myself. But in terms of adjusting, I guess my next move is to really revamp my website and start sending it out there.
Got
Trying to
you.
like fish for gigs, yeah. Communicating with like my network and seeing what possibilities there are.
Yeah.
But it's hard, man. It's really hard.
I hear you on that. My roommate's a photographer too, and he has had a pretty similar situation, and it's like felt everywhere. Um, but you mentioned earlier, like with the whole idea thing, how is your like creation process when you create and you create these visual arts? How does that go?
For what type of
I just that's a
for
good point. There's a lot of different
yeah,
media.
there's so many different medium, yeah, like so many different things that I shoot. Like when I'm with an artist, it's different. When I'm just shooting out in the streets, it's different. When I'm shooting for myself, it's
Yeah.
very, very different processes. Yeah.
Well, which medium is your favorite? Because I feel like I just from checking your shit out. Obviously, I don't know you that well, but it seems like you're really versatile. You can do a lot of different things, whether it's photography,
Yeah.
videography, editing, directing.
I,
So, which one of those is your favorite?
actually going out and shooting is my favorite.
Just
And then
stills.
yeah, stills and video. I love doing that, but I like doing it for myself because you're allowed, like, there's just nothing holding you back. There's no boundaries. You can pretty much do whatever you want. The audience obviously is a lot smaller and you have the chance that like nobody really cares, but that doesn't matter as long because you have more fun with it. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah,
when I'm out shooting for myself, whether it be the vlogs or whether it be just creative photos or working with other friends on videos, that's the best. But when I'm working with an artist, that I really love because there's pressure and you know there's going to be a lot more eyes on there.
yeah.
So you really want to kill it, and you also have to like keep in mind that they have their own brand. So trying to work and with that brand is something that I've always loved.
I got you. So you like the pressure that's involved with that?
Yeah, I love the pressure, and I love when I have a relationship with an artist that I could talk to them and we could like like we just like brainstorm ideas together. Like that's my favorite because then
Yo,
you get inside their brain a little bit more than like nobody knows like what's inside of
yeah.
their head aside from their music.
You get
So
to
like
know
what
them
if
on like a
but
different level, right?
yeah, like Anderson, for example, like that man has so many fucking ideas for videos. It's
Really?
like it's crazy. Yeah.
Damn,
So,
who would
but
have
like
thought that?
you would never know because like all
Yeah.
he does is like just you hear his music, but he just is always his brain is always going. Like we'll be out and about, he'll be like, oh, let's do a video like this. So he'll direct me, and then I'll just shoot it for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that kind of goes back to the skills that you learned when you started that collective, right? Working with people, being able to adapt on the fly and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah. What about some of the places that photography has taken you to, like travel wise?
Damn, man, I've been everywhere, bro.
Like where? Like give some highlight spots.
Like man, like probably the random ones like Dubai, South Africa.
Oh shit.
Like yeah, going to South Africa was super dope. Like yeah, Dubai, I've always wanted to fly on like Qatar, that airline.
Qatar.
Man, I miss the airport.
You like flying?
Mm-hmm. No, man, I used to hate it, but now I miss it. You know, it was
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
it was so routine for me to always be at the airport. And I used to fucking hate it, but now I miss going to LAX and going to that one Starbucks and doing like it's the little things, man.
Yeah, no, I
Fuck.
hear you. I feel you because like there's so many things that I miss, but I wouldn't do as much. And I'm like, do I miss doing that, or do I just miss having the option to do that? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
But
Exactly.
I hear you.
New York too, man. Also,
New York.
I never thought that I would frequent New York as much as I did these past couple of years, and that's one of my favorite cities. So just being able to always go there is
Yeah.
sick. I love that.
It's gonna be a while before we go back there. Shit's
Oh yeah,
crazy over
yeah,
there.
for sure. Yeah.
Did you ever think in like your wildest dreams that you would be able to travel to all these places because of photography?
Nah, man. Nah, I
It's a
really didn't.
blessing.
Yeah, I didn't. I've always thought of like this career as like kind of like I never looked at it like too long term. Yeah, when it comes to traveling, I didn't think that it was gonna be like this. Not at the pace that I was going.
Right.
It was crazy.
Do you ever take time to like reflect on everything that's happened to you in these past like ever since you moved to
Totally.
LA?
You have to, man. You have to have those moments where you just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when I travel a lot, I noticed that a lot of the people that I would travel with, like the crews and like the band and stuff, like they kind of already have been there, done that type of thing. So they would stay in the hotels. But you know, like when I was in Thailand, when I was in India, anytime that I had off, I would just go even if it was by myself, I would just go there, just me and my camera, and just get lost. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You have
it's
to.
important. You have to, yeah. Because now
Man.
look, now we can't really do that.
Yeah,
And
but
now I
you
look at that footage and I'm like, oh shit, that's tight.
that's a great thing about photography too. Just looking back on like memories that you
Yep,
had, it brings you
exactly.
back to that
Yeah.
point. Um,
Oh yeah.
that's one reason why I love having photographers on too. If you guys are listening and you look back on some of the past episodes on, I've had like at least 5 or 6 photographers on, and to me it's dope because you guys are living the same kind of lifestyle that the people that you're shooting are, right? Because you're going touring with them,
Yeah.
you're living the
Yeah.
same experiences as they are, and not a lot of people realize that. They just see like you know the people that are performing, right? But you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
have amazing stories and amazing experiences to share. So that's
Yeah.
why I was really hyped to have you on.
It takes an army, you know, like there's like I remember like one of the last trips we went on, the last tour. You know, there's bus drivers, there's people in
That
the
tour with you?
crew, yeah, like they tour with us. You know, there's the sound people, the sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many people that are involved in a tour, and their lives are like in the background, but they're still out there experiencing the same things.
Yeah.
So it's
A,
cool.
a lot of people don't realize that. I think that's dope.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what advice would you have for somebody who's looking to get into photography or just like was similar to you when you were younger and they're like thinking about making it their career?
Yeah, I mean, just go out and shoot. You have to just go out and shoot. Just always take your camera with you, and then I mean, now you have things like YouTube to teach you. You don't have to go to school. Like you don't even have to. You don't have to go to college for it. You can just learn it all online. Everything's there. There's so many resources there.
Yeah.
You know, so you just have to. You know, and if it depends on like if you want to shoot in the music industry, you know, get good at your taking photos, and the only way that you can get better when it comes to like shooting concert photography is just to find yourself in a situation where you can go to a concert. I mean, I know nowadays it's kind of like weird because you don't know when there's going to be another opportunity to shoot a show, but the way that I used to do it was just, you know, you hit up the artist, you hit up a magazine to say you want to shoot for them, or you just get a pass and take your camera, you sneak in there. I snuck into so many shows, man. You just gotta, yeah, you kind of just gotta do it.
You got to
Yeah,
finesse.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true, man. You can't just expect shit to happen. Like
Nope.
for you, you got to make it happen. You got
Yeah,
to open those doors.
and then you post it online and you post it on your Instagram and tag the artist, and you know, if your shit's good, then they'll probably see it.
Yeah, that actually leads into my next question. I was going to ask you what in your definition, what does it take to be a successful photographer?
Just like diligence and just ambition and just not stopping really, and just staying on your toes, and also being a good person, being a easy to work with. You know, you got to show your personality
Yeah.
just enough. You know, you can't be too annoying and like overbearing. You know, give them
Yeah.
some space, but just you got to be good to work with. You know, because like I've heard so many other people say like you could be like the best photographer, but if you're like an asshole, like they won't want to work with you. But if you're like easygoing and like really good, and yeah, they'll probably call you back.
Yeah. You gotta have
Yeah,
like a balance, right?
yeah. But I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out. So, but that's the best advice I can give. Yeah.
For sure, man. I'm sure a lot of people can take value from that because I'm sure like it's like this in any industry, but it's like you can be a really talented photographer but not know the right people, and then you can know the right people and then not be as skilled, but because you know the right
Yeah.
people, you might be farther than that guy who has the skills to be a good photographer, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's how I got here. I was just really cool with Anderson, just really easygoing, and
And then your skills are like, all right, you can actually back that shit up,
yeah.
right?
And then he was like, "Oh man," I remember like years later, he was like, "Oh, damn, you still do video, right?" Like,
Yeah.
but I was already hanging out with him, so it was easy. Yeah.
Yeah, you were ready for the opportunity. I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. We're almost gonna wrap up here, but
Sweet. Yeah.
what's next for you? What do you have going on? And yeah, just give us a little bit about what you got going on in the near
Yeah,
future.
I mean, like I said, I'm wrapping up this project. It'll probably be out in June. We're hoping for. Everything's wrapped up. We're just creating all the assets and stuff like that. But it's a documentary on Anderson Paak's band, the Free
Oh wow, Free
Nationals.
Nationals.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
we did a whole documentary on them. So that'll be coming out soon. And honestly, I'm just taking that, and it's a pretty big project for me. So I'm gonna take that and see what doors and what opportunities come from that,
For
and then
sure.
just continuing my vlog stuff while we're in quarantine because it's really fun for me. So that's a weekly thing. Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Well, where can people find your work on social media and YouTube and everything?
Yeah, just Israel Shoots on Twitter and on Instagram. You know, just ISRAEL, not ISREAL.
Yeah,
But yeah,
okay. That's a common
people,
mistake, right?
yeah, comments, super comments. So yeah, just Israel Shoots, you'll find me. And then if you just typed it in on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find me too.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to talk.
Thank you, brother.
And shit, I'm looking forward to that documentary and to see your journey continue
Yeah,
to succeed, man.
hell yeah, man. Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Of course, bro. Be blessed. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.
All right, man. Peace out, bro.